welcome everyone to our session, UTS College, Know Your Options information session. My name is Fiona and I'm a manager here at UTS College. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation upon whose ancestral lands UTS College now stands. I would like to pay my respects to all elders, past, present and emerging, as the traditional custodians of knowledge for this land. The intent of this webinar is to demonstrate how you can make it to UTS regardless of your ATAR. And university offers are starting to hit inboxes, and we know many of you are patiently waiting. But if the letter doesn't arrive, there is another way to UTS. Don't stress. So we hope tonight we can assist you with your questions and set you up with your plan B. So we do have a Q&A function at the bottom there, so please use it. We've got a great team behind there to answer your questions. But look, I'd like to start off to explain who we are. So UTS College is the pathway to UTS if you need another way in. We offer guaranteed entry to UTS through our diploma programs, with most diplomas fast-tracking students to the second year of their UTS degree. You'll get 24/7 personalised support to help gain the skills needed to prepare for uni and succeed at UTS. So we'd actually like to hear a little bit more from you so we can help, that'll help shape our webinar as well. So we'd like to have a bit of an understanding of who you are and your understanding of pathway programs. So I'll just fill in some fast facts about UTS while you're filling in the polls. So just to give you a bit of a news from UTS, so it's ranked #1 university in Australia for the last 4 consecutive years. Workers with a UTS degree are in even higher demand thanks to the university's reputation and relationship with potential employers, so lots of industry links. And UTS continues to ascend the QS graduate employability rankings, coming 5th in Australia and 62 globally, improving its position by 7 places just last year. So the university is climbing up the international ranking, sitting at 133rd in the world, jumping over 200 places in the last 10 years in the Times Higher Education ranking. So look, really, UTS is an exciting and a practical option with a strong focus on real world applications, rich in creativity and innovation. So we really want you to keep your dream, keep your line on the on UTS. So thank you for those who have filled in the poll. And so we'll look at the agenda now and trust that the information fills in those the needs, your information needs. So look, we'll start with a student panel. So you get to hear from our wonderful student ambassadors. We will go through Pathways Explained, what they are. We'll look at some of the student support services. We'll do a bit of a deeper dive into our programs and how to apply, and we will have that Q&A at the end. But also, please type in your answers in the Q&A function so we can go through those as well. So I would now like to introduce one of our team members here at UTS College. We have Tori Hyland. So she is our social media specialist here at the college, and she's been working with students for over 5 years and has been at UTS for just over 3 years. So she's fantastic. Hi, Tori.
Hello. Hello,
How are you
everyone.
doing?
I'm doing good.
Well, I'll leave you to introduce the panelists, our wonderful panelists.
All right. So there's so much that we can say as staff, but in reality, you want to hear from students, people who have been there, done that. So we are so lucky to have some of our UTS College alumni on the line today, and they're going to talk a bit about what their experience was like studying at UTS College, how they found the support, and just all of it. So I would love to introduce, first of all, Suad. So Suad studied a Diploma of Communication at UTS College, and she has a pretty sweet side gig working in the social media team at Channel 10. So she's doing well. And then I'd like to also introduce Chris. So Chris studied a Diploma of Engineering at UTS College, and he's going to Japan as an exchange student in March. So also very jealous. And then lastly, we have Talia. So Talia studied a Diploma of Science at UTS College, and she was actually the winner of the Outstanding Graduate Award for her diploma, which means she had the highest GPA in her diploma group. So we've got a pretty good panel. So let's start with Suad. Can you tell us why you came to UTS College and what are you studying now?
I came to UTS College because my ATAR wasn't high enough to go directly into UTS. And I had my heart set on going to UTS. So I applied through UTS College. I did a diploma of communications, and now I'm still studying journalism at UTS, and I'm in my last year, which is really exciting.
Yes, and what about you, Chris?
Hello, everyone. So I came to UTS College because I didn't do well in my HSC. I actually didn't anticipate how badly I would do, but I knew I really wanted to go to UTS. I knew I wanted to do software design development, and I was able to go to UTS College, do my first year subjects, go straight into UTS. But now I'm actually also going into education now. So currently I study education and international studies, and international studies is what's getting me to go to Japan for my exchange.
Sounds pretty good. And what about you, Talia?
So again, very similar to Chris and Suad. I did okay in my HC, but it wasn't the ATAR I needed to get into the degree that I'm doing at the moment. So that's why I chose UTS College to be in the degree that I'm currently in.
You, Chris, how did you feel when you discovered UTS College?
Very relieved. So I really did not know how much worse I performed in my HSC. It sort of stacked up on me last minute, literally when I got the mark. But through help of my parents, particularly my mum, I think she saw the car crash coming from earlier, so she sort of pushed me to sort of find an option, because I knew I wanted to study at UTS, and she was like, okay, go see what you can study. And when UTS College came up, it was just like, oh, okay, so entry into UTS doesn't look at my bad ATAR mark, and also gives me the opportunity to actually do UTS subjects. So those combinations of those three things, it's just sort of became a no-brainer. And it was only after I joined UTS College that, you know, all the positives really added up and helped me through.
We love a success story, a turnaround story, an underdog. We love it. For Suad, we know that ATAR Day was not the best day of your life. So please tell us about that day.
Yeah, it was. All these years later, not all these years later, but even though it's been like 3 years now, I still just think back to it being the most stressful day of my entire life. I woke up just anxious already. Got my HSC marks, was okay with that. I was like, oh, okay. And then the ATAR came out and I was like, oh, nope, this is not happening. And instant crying from me. Called my mum and I was like, oh, well, I'm going to be a failure in life. So it was all the stereotypical stress that comes with ATAR and the HSC. And I definitely did not think that in a few years I would be where I am now, which is studying my dream degree and also doing the job that I do at Channel 10, which is a dream job of mine. So finding UTS College on that day, because once I stopped crying, I went and did my research and I found UTS College and applied, and then I got my application approved, obviously, and went to UTS College. It was definitely the biggest relief of my life. And I was like, okay, I can do something with this. I'm not going to be a failure. So all that stress was definitely there.
But it worked out. It worked out in the end. And for you, Talia, so yes, outstanding grad, and went from UTS College from high school to second year at university. How did UTS College help you with that transition?
So, first of all, thank you for flattering me so much. But yeah, UTS College was a really good stepping stone, going from high school into uni, and going from that jump from secondary studies to tertiary studies, because it is very different. So being able to go through the college instead of going straight into UTS, I was able to build my confidence a lot more. I learned how to be an independent learner, how to build relationships with not just my classmates, but also lecturers, and tutors and other professors, which was really helpful. And I think without going through UTS College, I probably would have felt a lot more anxious going into like UTS straight away. So I was really glad I went through the college and was able to build up my confidence like that. So it made it really seamless, going through that kind of stepping stone.
Yeah, and that leads into my next question. How did UTS College set you up for success going into UTS? And did you use any of the student support services to help get you there?
Yeah, so I utilized the study success advisors, who, sorry, there's a plane going past, who utilized, I utilized the study success advisors who helped me kind of personalize my study plan so that I would perform at my best, despite some learning disabilities and mental health issues that I had. So they were really helpful in setting up exam provisions if I needed any extensions, and again, just helping me build that confidence that I was able to do well, and it paid off, and was really helpful in that transition to UTS.
And what about you, Chris?
I think if I were to say the main thing, it would be definitely sort of building my confidence up, particularly after I didn't do well at all in my HSC. Going into UTS College and actually going into the Diploma of Engineering, I didn't do any science, even though I was in a Diploma of Engineering. I did do ICT, so software, but still. But going through the first physics subjects, physics modeling, learned that just fine. The teachers was super helpful. Chemistry modeling went through fine also. I actually got to know, all of my tutors and all of my lecturers, and have those like conversations in the elevator going to and from class. So that was super helpful coming through. And I think although I did access some of the general support services like study success advisors here and there, I think the main thing that provided me with support was sort of, I don't want to use network. Yeah, the word network. So the network that I sort of built up of the friends, of the tutors, and also through volunteering, and that really carried me through into UTS. When I was in my first class of my first semester at UTS, it was just like, I already know a third of these people in my class. I have no problems getting back into it. So that's my thing.
Okay, we know that studying at uni is not all just about study. So lovely, Suad. Did going through UTS College help you socially? If so, how do you think this affected your experience? And I'd love for you to share maybe some of the really cool things that we have at UTS, like what can you do in your spare time?
So there's actually a lot of things you can do at UTS and UTS College. It definitely helped me get out there, and I am a very social butterfly. I love talking to people. I love meeting people. And I actually joined a student advisory group at UTS College, and that helped me kind of build up my leadership even more and just meet a lot more people that were like-minded. It allowed me to interact with people, even though we were just learning online at that time. And then once we got offline, there are events that you can go to at UTS. There's Activate UTS, and they hold events that UTS College students can go to, which is where I met Tori, actually, because she used to work for them, and we did some cool social media content together. But going to events like that and being on campus, because you're allowed to go on the UTS campus. And so just going there and studying, I was able to meet more people and like people in my course, just like-minded friends, and really just spread my wings, because again, uni isn't just about studying. You all want that university experience, and going to UTS College isn't going to stop you from having that uni experience, which is something I was a bit fearful for. But when I went, it was everyone's willing to have friends, and UTS College, us student ambassadors actually hold events, and we go on outings together, like the zoo, watching movies. So you can come along to that and like meet everyone else that is studying with you. And it's just a really good vibe. And it really lets you break out of your shell, especially if you need a little bit more help breaking out of your shell. So yeah, I really enjoyed my social experience. It really helped. It made everything that much better, especially when we're online.
And a lot of those activities are free, like free. Taronga Zoo for free. You don't have to pay. And so, yeah, if you decide to come to UTS College, get onto the student activities because it will save you a lot of money and it's a lot of fun. So our last question. So what is your top tip for potential students who are wanting to study at UTS? I'll start with you, Chris.
I think the top tip for me, especially for those of you who are finishing high school going into UTS College and potentially UTS immediately, so is to sort of very much on what Suad said before, getting involved as much as you can and as early as you can. Not just it extends beyond to, oh, you go to UTS College, you might not feel like you're a UTS student. Well, you are very much so, and you can be part of the clubs and societies. And that's the thing. If you hear about something you're interested in, say from a senior or us talking about our own experiences, then you reach out, contact the club society, get involved. That's how you have the uni experience. And that also extends to sort of having extracurricular activities, or you want to do volunteering, or you want to get some work experience and attend, say, expo for graduate students, but it's open to everybody. You very much have the ability to, and the more you put into it and the more you want to get involved, the better your experience will be, regardless UTS College or UTS. So that's my tip.
And what are some of the clubs you joined quickly, Chris? Little shout out.
So I used to be a part of the Exchange and Study Abroad Club, sort of a club organized to sort of helping exchange students, get used to UTS. Mahjong, that's a Chinese tile game. That's one. The Puzzle Society are great. I could keep on listing them, Gamers Guild, but there's a bunch of both just social societies and also sort of volunteering societies that you can be a part of at UTS.
Oh, and top tip from Suad?
I definitely think to do your research and know what you're getting yourself into, and don't be afraid to take that next step. I feel like if you research what you're going to do, because I researched about UTS College and I got familiar with it, it took away a lot of anxiety and stress that I had. And also remember that your journey is your own journey. Sounds very cringy, but it is. You don't have to compare yourself to your friends that might be going straight into UTS. Just because you're going to UTS College doesn't mean that you won't have the same university experience. In fact, you probably will have a better university experience because of all of our support services. But I definitely think just take care of yourself and your mind, and you're going to be okay. Because I'm a big stress head and I didn't think I was going to be okay. And then I was, and I still am. So yeah, take care of yourself and know what you're doing.
And the last tip from Talia.
All the good tips have been taken. No, but I think kind of going off of what Suad said, comparison really is the thief of joy. I know when I started the college, I was a little bit not upset, but a bit disheartened that all my friends were going straight to UTS and I was going to miss out. And now here I am, and I'm literally going to graduate at the exact same time as them. So it made absolutely no difference. Sure, my journey was a little bit different, but ultimately got to the same destination in the end. So yeah, try not to compare yourself. If you're really set on UTS and you didn't get the ATAR or the marks needed to get into the course, really do consider the college. I think it's the best way to kind of ensure your entry into UTS.
And graduating with pre-med, might I add, pre-med. Anyway, that wraps up our student panel. Thank you so much to our lovely UTS College alumni for having a chat, and over to you, Fiona.
Great. Thank you, Tori. And thank you, Chris and Talia and Suad. And thank you for sharing your stories. And Talia, I loved your tip about don't compare yourself to others. That's fantastic. Right. So to further explain the benefits of the Pathway program, and thank you for the people who filled in the form. So we can see that half the audience didn't understand, they're new to the Pathway concept. So I'd like to introduce Rebecca Sheldon. Rebecca is the Learning Unit Manager at UTS College. So she has over 10 years experience of developing programs, workshops and initiatives to support students in their learning and help them to achieve success in their studies. Hello, Rebecca.
Hi, Fiona. Thank you for the welcome.
Look, let's get straight into it. Can you explain what a pathway is exactly?
Yes, so it's basically a stepping stone between high school and university, but it's at a university level. So UTS College is obviously a stepping stone for your degree at UTS. And it's mostly for students that didn't get the ATAR and go straight to UTS. We've just heard from our panel of students saying this, but we basically work with UTS to make sure that we can deliver the equivalent of the first year UTS course, but in a smaller and more personalised way. So when you do successfully complete your studies, and Fiona, I know you just said this as well at the beginning, but you do receive that guaranteed entry to the corresponding UTS degree, undergraduate degree, provided that you meet that grade point average. So that place is guaranteed for you. You're not in competition with anyone else for that place. So it's guaranteed for you and it is held for you. So that's the benefit of a pathway.
Great. And my next question is, how is a UTS College pathway course different from a typical first year at university?
Yeah, so the first year at university is generally the most difficult. It's very different from a school environment. There's a huge level of independent learning, and sometimes adjusting to that can be difficult. Whether you got the ATAR and went there directly, it's still moving to a big university and not knowing a lot of people can just be a bit of a shock. So typically there's a 30% dropout in the first year. And so UTS College, we design our courses and we create an environment that really helps to facilitate that transition for students. We obviously don't have any more than 20 per class. So the teachers really get to know the students and how they're progressing. Our curriculum scaffolded to support your learning and build the academic skills that students really need to be successful. So we also really, as you've heard from our student panel as well, we aim to build that sense of belonging and a student community that students often tell us when they go over to UTS, they go through their whole rest of their degree with their UTS College cohort. So you've already got that sense of, connection to the community.
And what does the learning look like at UTS College?
So to me, that's the most exciting part. Our approach to teaching and learning, it's called Learning Connected. It's a blended approach that combines basically online and face-to-face. So there's some amazingly well-designed activities. Justin, who's about to come on shortly, will obviously agree with me. And resources that the students work through in their own time and at their own pace in preparation for class. And then when we come into class, they're ready to collaborate with their peers. So it's a very active way to learn. And the feedback that we're getting from students is that it's a much more meaningful way for them to learn. And we also build in authentic assessments throughout our whole course. So the work that you're completing in your diploma actually reflects what you're going to be doing at UTS, but more than that, it reflects what you'll be doing in your chosen career or industry.
And thanks for that, Rebecca. And this is kind of a question I would always ask as a parent. How does UTS College help those students at risk at falling behind or falling through the cracks?
Yeah, so So our small classes really allow teachers to know and support the progress of all students. So, and the curriculum is designed to have a high level of engagement from the students and the teachers. So it quickly becomes evident if someone is struggling. We also have software, which I know you love the name of, Fiona, called Dropout Detective, that monitors the engagement of the students, and the teachers and the study success advisors kind of monitor that software. So it basically just shows, we know if a student's engaging with the curriculum, we know if they're on Canvas, we know if they're attending or submitting assignments. So that software is checked daily and it allows us to contact students immediately so that we can assist with any problems. And we also have a plethora of support services available to students. We embed the academic and language type skills in the curriculum as much as we can, but we also have a whole help centre, you'll see it in my background, for English language and academic skills support. So we have a physical centre and we have an online space for helps, plus we have it embedded in the curriculum. We have a whole bunch of services, which I'll talk about shortly, but we have peer mentors and helpers that, you know, they're with you from the start, from as soon as you commence at the college, right through your program. And we sometimes have them, depending on the subject, we have them coming into the classes as well and supporting you in class. So plenty of support available.
Well, thank you, Rebecca, for your insight. So as you mentioned, I think you're going to take us through the various services that we offer here at UTS, so the college. So I'll hand over to you.
Yes, I will. I just thought I'd like to start with a quick video of one of our students, Stefania, just telling us about the services and how one of the services and how it's helped her.
So I use Studiosity in a subject called Principles of Scientific Practice. I was doing an scientific essay report on coffee grounds and how to extract them. And before submitting my essay into class, I put into Studiosity to see if I needed any structure changes or grammar and punctuation mistakes. And it felt so relieving to know that I could change and structure my essay properly using Studiosity before submitting. Knowing that I could get someone to help me with my spelling, grammar and structure, also referencing, made it easier for me to get the best possible mark and understand how to do something more professionally.
Yeah, so Stefania was talking about our Studiosity service here. So she was talking about the writing feedback service, but we also have a Connect Live Studiosity service, which is basically Uber for tutoring. So you could be studying for an exam or completing assessment, could be midnight in Sydney, and you can log on to Connect Live at Studiosity, log on and chat to a subject specialist and get support, and you know, really helps you move forward with any of those maths questions or physics questions in the middle of the night that are really bothering you. So that's available literally 24/7 every day of the year. So our students have found that just so extremely helpful when preparing for their work at the college. So just going on to the next slide. This is just, you know, I'll just briefly go over some of the support. So we do have our study success advisors, which I mentioned before. They are monitoring the software so they can see how the students are engaging all the time. They reach out to the students and they're mostly there to support you with anything that's going on outside of your studies that's impacting your ability to study. We know that life gets in the way sometimes, and they have lots of policies and procedures that they can use to help support you to stay on track and keep progressing. We have Talk Campus. UTS also have Talk Campus. So it's basically a mental health support app. Again, it's you know, available 24/7. It's completely anonymous for people to use. It's only students in there. So it's you know, there's peers on there helping support through the chat with whatever's going on for you. And then also, there's, mood diaries and, meditations and all sorts of things to help. You can log in anytime, obviously, that's available for you. We have the Help Centre, as I mentioned before. So we have a physical centre in Building 5 on campus, but we also have an online helps space for support with any of your academic language needs. We have ITDS service desk. So we have, again, a physical service desk in Building 5 on campus. And then they're also available, obviously, via email and phone. We have study success workshops that we run during Welcome Week and also throughout semester, depending on, the students' needs and the topics that they're telling us they need assistance with. And again, as I mentioned before, the peer support and just personalised study support, a great network of peers and, and obviously, all of the teaching staff, all of the education staff and support services here to support you. And then we do have the study success advisors will also be kind of guiding you through the process to UTS. So as you start to get towards the end of your diploma, you'll go through some the transition sessions with UTS faculty staff. So they just want to make sure that you have all the RPL, recognised prior learning for your subjects in the diploma, and that you're, get any assistance you need with choosing your subjects over there. And sorting out your enrolment over at UTS. So plenty of support available for everyone.
Great. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And there was lots of detail there about our student support services. So fantastic. So both for students who want to, I guess, thrive, as well as the students that are struggling a little bit.
Sorry, Fiona, I forgot to say as well that all of those services are obviously free to UTS College students.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Thank you. Great. Thank you, Rebecca. Thanks for your time. I would like to welcome now Justin Chu, the Program Manager for Foundation Studies, Science and Engineering. Justin will go through with you the programs offered at UTS College and how they integrate to UTS degrees. Hi, Justin.
Hi, Fiona.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Over to you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Justin, the Program Manager responsible for Science, Engineering, and Foundation Studies. Tonight, I'm very happy to be here to give you more information about our diploma programs. As you can see from this diagram, we offer 6 higher education diplomas, and they are Business, Communication, Design and Architecture, Engineering, IT, and Science. In communication, we have 2 streams. One is digital and strategic communication, and the second one is the media business. For design and architecture, obviously we have 2 streams, one on design, the other one on architecture. In science, we also have 2 streams. One is life sciences, and then the second one is the physical sciences. So our diplomas are ideal for you if you do not meet the academic requirements for entry into a UTS degree straight away, and the practical preparation program for a UTS undergraduate degree. The courses at UTS College are designed in collaboration with UTS. It means that the educational outcomes are the same for first-year students studying at the UTS undergraduate degree. As Rebecca and Fiona mentioned, the diploma guarantees entry to your UTS undergraduate degree, with many diploma fast-tracking you to the second year of your UTS degree. It will depend on your diploma you select and also based on the successful completion of your diploma with the required grade point average GPA. So most of our diplomas offer 48 credit points towards a degree, which usually means around the first year, exactly first year of your 3-year undergraduate program. So, but there is some exception. In the Diploma of Design and Architecture, we only offer 36 credit points. In science, depending on your degree that you have chosen, it will be between 24 to 48 credit points. So when you finish UTS College and the UTS degree, it means that you will graduate with a degree, obviously, and an internationally recognized higher education diploma in your chosen field of study. So over to the next slide is about the three different types of three different lengths of the diploma. So at UTS College, you can choose to complete your diploma over 8 months with our accelerated program, 12 months with our standard program, and with our extended program over 16 months. So what are the benefits of each? So accelerated, which is our 8-month program, obviously is the fastest way to get into a UTS degree. However, the intense workload means that you would not be suitable for everyone. You will study the same content as first-year UTS degree student, obviously. So standard program is our 12-month program. So you will study the same content as the accelerated program, but the work will be spaced out over 12 months. So it means that you will have more time to perfect your academic study while adjusting to higher education expectation. And that's why this is always our most popular program. Finally, is the extended program, the 16-month program. So the workload has been set at the right place for you. You will have enough time to study hard and do well in your subjects. You will study the same content as the first-year UTS student, but in the first semester, you will also undertake academic communication subject and a range of enabling subject designed to prepare you to succeed as you progress through your studies. So you may ask yourself a question, which one is right for you? So there are a couple of factors. It would depend, first of all, your the entry requirements that Fiona will go through with you in the next few minutes. And second, whether you want to be fast-tracked or not, so that you will choose accelerated or standard or extended, or sometime in certain diploma, like the engineering. If you missed the math in your high school, probably you need to do the extended program to undertake the math subjects. Now, the next slide is about an example of the pathway. Obviously, this table illustrates the pathway. I'm sure that most of you are now at the left-hand side, the high school. And then the next stage, obviously, is the UTS College. And then after you study UTS College, whether it's an 8 months, 12 months, or 16 months, then you will go to study at UTS. So Fiona will go through with you the entry requirement shortly. Now, the next slide here, I want to show you a list of the major that you probably are interested. I won't go through in details and one by one, but you can see there are a lot. The best way to check on the different pathway from our diploma to UTS degree and the various major is through our website. Thank you, Fiona.
Hi, Justin. How are you doing? Thanks
good.
for all of that. What I will go through now is just a bit of a summary from Justin. So what he's just gone through was the benefits of studying with us at UTS College. So we've had a lot about the guaranteed entry to UTS. The same first-year university outcomes as UTS. So Rebecca explained that the courses are designed in collaboration with UTS. You can fast track into second-year UTS, as Justin qualified that, and the personalised support, which we went through a lot of information, and also access to a UTS campus. So thank you for that. So what is next? So now you know the benefits, and hopefully you're all thinking about UTS College as a pathway to completing the UTS degree. We'll go through what other fees are involved, what are the entry requirements, and how to apply. So Justin, I love that you think that I was going to answer all these questions, but I'm going to bring in someone far more professional and equipped at answering these questions, which will be Lynn Sharon, our Senior Partner Manager, who will explain this. So she'll go through all these questions. But it's and just a note for the parents that are attending this panel, it's important that you realise that the students are the ones who must apply. So hello, Lynn.
Hi, thanks Fiona for introducing me. And yes, let's go into those questions because I reckon everybody is waiting to know more. This year, the accelerated and the standard diplomas will be $34,000 and the extended will be $42,500. So the reason why accelerated and standard are the same price is because, as Justin explained, it's the same number of subjects, just the duration that changes, and the extended, there is another semester, so more subjects to study, hence why it's more expensive. You might find it expensive and more expensive than first year at any university. The reason is because, as we've explained before, we have a lot of support programs that are available for all of the students that are part of the fees. So yeah, like Studiosity, any workshops, the tutorials that we offer. And don't forget that the ratio teacher student is different from what we usually have at university. Sorry, so it's never going to be more than 20 students per classroom. And because we offer this sort of support, this is reflected as well in the price. That's a support that you will never get at any other institution and at university level as well. Now, there is also a reason why it's more expensive. You need to know that we do not receive any fund from the government, unlike universities. Yeah, basically that's why the price is a bit higher than university. But also we are not for-profit organization, meaning that every dollar that we receive, we will reinvest into UTS College. So whether it's for developing the skills of the teacher, or upgrading the equipment or the campus, or developing new programs, that's what we are using it for, and that's what we are not for profit. So different reasons why it's more expensive. Also remember that if you are a citizen, you might qualify to get fee help. There are a number of reasons why you can get fee help if you're an Australian citizen. You will need to get your TFN ready, and we can help you to get that organized. Basically, when you do receive your offer letter, we explain how to organize that. And when you're ready to accept the offer that you will receive from UTS College, there are a number of steps that you can do and complete so that we take care of that. Our team is there to help you out, but you can get fee help. It's very similar to HEX. It's a government loan that you will take so that you don't have to pay your fees fully. You can use fee help to pay your fees with that fully or partially if you want to, but you don't need to pay upfront. So it's available for you if you're a citizen. You can go and visit Study Assist to have more information about fee help if you want. Now, let's talk about the entry requirements, because I think I've seen a lot of questions about that on the Q&A. So I know everybody knows about the ATAR, and that's what you guys have been really focusing on in your year 12. We don't look at the ATAR, we look at the HSC results. And we make the average out of your HSC results. So we take your English mark plus your top 3 board developed courses. So the 2 units of your English mark plus the 6 other units, we take the best out of those and we make the average. And this will help us decide whether you can choose the accelerated, the standard, or the extended. That's what Justin was explaining. So depending on what you want to do and how you want to structure your diploma and your studies with us, you can join the 3 diplomas, but obviously one of the criteria would be your HSC average. So accelerated, standard, or extended, and I'll explain in a sec how much you actually need. So let's have a look how we compare the HSC subject average with an ATAR. So for the same student with the same results, the outcome would be completely different. So on the top section, the green one, you can see that we take the English, as I said, it's compulsory. We have to take that. Maths, environmental science, and Japanese as an example. We make the average and then we get 69.25%, meaning that this student is actually qualifying to get into our diploma program, the standard one. But for the same results, we'll have to add other units as well, so that we have 10 units altogether. And when we look at the ATAR, the student gets 51.10 in the ATAR, which is not enough to get into UTS. So don't panic. Obviously, if you miss out on your UTS offer, then you can probably get an offer, hopefully, for UTS College. And we'll have a look now at what it is that we require. So entry requirements, again, 3 different sort of diplomas, and each one of them has a different HSC average that we need to look into. The accelerated, the 8 months one, will need to have 75% in the HSC average, 67% for the standard one, 12 months, and 63% for the extended one, the 16-month one with the extra semester. Now, the intake dates. So I've seen some questions as well about that. So the first intake, well, is happening very soon on the 27th of February. Then we have another one in June and the last one in September. So you could actually look into joining a bit later in June if you wanted to, or do in February and fast track, do just 2 semesters and start at UTS after you've completed the 2 semesters. So different entry points, different duration, makes it quite flexible if you have the grades, so that we can work in the study plan for you. Let's have a look also at other important dates that are coming up. So if you're looking at starting with us this coming semester, the last day to submit your application will be the 20th of February, Monday, 20th of February. So in a few weeks. And the last day to accept your offer so that you can get admitted and then enroll will be the 22nd of February. Of course, applications are open, but I would, if I were you and you already have an offer, if you haven't lodged your application yet, please do it ASAP. And if you already have an offer on hand, please accept it ASAP, so that you will then receive an email coming from us explaining when you can enroll and how you can enroll. So the earlier you do that, the quicker and the easiest for you it's going to be to choose your timetable. So I would encourage anyone with an offer to do that ASAP, because it's basically first thing best served. So 3 easy steps to apply. If you haven't done that yet, go to our website. You can actually click on the apply now, and then you can just do that. It doesn't take that long. You'll be prompted with several questions. Get your documents ready. And by documents, we mean at least your ID and any transcripts that you might have with you. And just answer those questions, and you'll hear from our admission team within a few days. If you are an international student, we do not take direct application through the website. So please, if you don't have yet an education agent to help you out, have a look at our website. There is a drop-down list where you can choose, depending on where you are, an education agent that is authorized to represent UTS College and help you out with your application. They can also help with visa and any other documentation that you might require for your application. So please speak to your education agent. And I think that's it from me. Thank you. For
now, but actually stay online.
I am staying
Stay there. Well, thank you, Aline. So but we've got so many questions, which has been fantastic. We've had some great questions in there. But Aline, I'm going to start with you. So one of the questions I can see that's come through, and there's a few around this. Can someone who has not finished their HSC or completed year 12, can they apply to UTS College?
So if they have already just done their year 11, unfortunately, they can't apply for a diploma. They can apply for foundation studies if they are international students, because we also offer this program, but just for international students, not for domestic students. So if you're an international student, that's something you can consider. If you haven't completed year 12, but you have completed any other studies at a diploma level, maybe at TAFE, certificate 4, this is something that we can consider as well. So we don't purely base our assessment on year 12, but year 11 won't be sufficient to apply for a diploma program. So I hope it answers the question.
Thanks, Aline. And look, Aline, I don't know whether this is a question for you or Justin to best answer. We're getting quite a few questions around the law pathway from our Diploma of Business. So I don't know if you, Aline or Justin, would like to take that question.
Yeah, both of us. What was the question? If we had the new pathway? Yes, so we have the new pathway where you can actually do a Diploma of Business or Communication. And those 2 diploma, even though they are not called Diploma of Law, will lead to a Bachelor of Law at UTS, and you will gain entry into the first year. Then you'll get, depending on what you want to do, you'll gain 30 credit points or 48 credit points, but you'll start from first year. So that's new from this year.
Right. And Justin, is there anything there to add on to that one? There was a few different questions.
I think Arlene actually explained it really well. Unless there's any specific questions, I think I'll answer well. Yeah.
Thanks. Fantastic. I've actually got a question for one of the student panelists. So I'm going to bring up volunteer you, Suad, if you're available, throwing to you if you're there. What are some tips for transitioning into uni life? If I still have her, or Talia, they're probably scrambling, thinking they can get a cup of coffee. I might come back to them if they're available. Oh, Chris, thank you, Chris. Thanks for taking the question. Some tips for transitioning to uni life.
Sure thing. I think the main thing that comes to mind is that learning in a university environment is very much different than learning in a high school environment. Obviously, we provide support, but being self-driven, sort of organizing your study, organizing your revision, organizing, going through new material on a regular basis, as in like you have it written down, this is the time to do it on this day or this part of the week, very much enables you to actually go through work a lot quicker than, say, if you were to go first in, first out, just based on how assignments and work comes in. So, the more, I feel like for me personally, the more you organize things and the more you stay to a routine, the more of an adult learner you become, and then you sort of set yourself up for success that way.
Thank you, Chris. Great answer. Thank you. I've got another question. Alin, I'm going to throw, sorry, I should have kept you on, but I'm going to keep you all on your toes. Alin, this is one for you. What happens, and we've got a few of these in different sort of ways of sort of worded. What happens if I fall a little short of the entry requirements?
Good question. Remember that there are 3 entry points. So if you're looking at getting into the standard diploma, the 12 months one, which is usually the most popular one because it just makes sense. If you start in February, March with us, then you'll finish on time to go straight into UTS the year after. If you do get 66, let's say, just 1 point below 67, then you'll get an offer for the extended diploma. If you're really looking into getting the accelerated, and then we need at least 75 and you get 74, you'll get an offer for the standard. So we'll always look at the option that would be best for you, but we won't be able to necessarily give you what you wanted in the first place.
I'm going to keep you on while I've got a couple questions here. So, Rob, is there a cap on admissions?
Good question. There's no cap on admission, but because there is a limit as to when to apply and when to accept, I would just do it as soon as possible. Again, because if you do accept the offer now, then you'll get prompted to be able to enroll, do those steps as well to get enrolled into our course. And by enrolling, it means choosing your timetable. So you don't want to miss out on the classes that you would like to join.
Great. And can you explain the difference between a conditional offer and a full offer and how to accept these?
Yeah, so condition offer literally means that there are still some conditions that need to be met before we can issue a full offer. And a full offer means like there is no other conditions that needs to be met, so you can go on and accept. So just go back into the portal that you have created when you lodged your application. So you received an email with your ID and everything. Just go back into this, and then you'll be prompted as well, so that you just need to click on accept, and then it will just, you just have to follow what's coming up on your screen. It's pretty easy, doesn't require a long time. If you do choose to get fee help, you'll be asked to provide your USI, get organized as well with your TFN, as I mentioned, because it's a government loan. And what else? You'll be asked as well to complete an ECAF and things like that, but everything is explained. And if you're not too sure, and if you get lost, you can always call us, and then someone will be able to help you out with those.
Great. Thank you, Aline. I'm going to call on Rebecca. I've got some great questions here for you. Again, these are quite popular ones. Rebecca, how many students enroll into UTS College, and what percentage of those successfully complete?
Sorry, I was just typing an answer to a question in the chat.
Would you like me to repeat?
So the enrollments, I've been texting the Associate Dean as we've been on this call to make sure I'm getting the right responses for you. So and I've said it to a few others that have asked a similar question, but the conversion rate, so students that who complete their diploma, 80 to 90% of them actually go to UTS. So that's about standard each year.
Great. And what sort of numbers are we, I guess, how many students enroll? So what's the size of the cohort?
It depends on the semester. It could be anywhere from 1,200 new students. I think, last semester last year, we had just over 1,000 new students starting the diploma.
And while I have you, Rebecca, where are the classes held? Are they held at UTS College or at UTS?
Well, we're on the UTS campus now. So we are part of the UTS campus. So they'll either be in Building 5 or our Harris Street campuses, which is just around the corner, basically from the DAB building. So that we're on UTS campus now. And I've got a question. How does UTS College help students become independent learners? Good question. The fact that you're asking that, whoever asked that question makes me think that you already are one. But basically it's through the level of support that we give. So, and it is through the design of the curriculum, the fact that it is self-paced, some of it is self-paced learning. So there's an expectation that you're prepared for class. And a big part of being an independent learner is just knowing how to seek help and asking questions. So the fact that that person's already asked the question makes me think they are right on track.
Fantastic. Look, I think we'll finish the questions there. If your question has not, we're going to keep the webinar going. We'll turn off the video, but we'll stop talking, but we'll keep the Q&A chat live for 5 to 10 minutes afterwards. That will give our staff a chance to answer all the questions. And then I've got a few call to action. So if you don't get your question answered, we will get back to you. If you've entered your name, if you're coming up an anonymous attendee, we won't know your contact details. So just you'll need to be follow up with us because we can't respond. But look, I'll just go through the last couple of slides to explain what we've got coming up. We've got request a callback service. So that way, I'll just get that next slide coming up. It might be a bit stuck, but that way you can come, there we go. So you can scan this QR code, especially for people who've got anonymous in their profile there, but you can we've got you can have a telephone call and we can talk to you, and also you can select a time for these people to for our staff to get back to you. Also, we have some events coming up. So we've got campus visits. So we've got one tomorrow and then in the coming week. So it's a great way to come in, see the campus, speak to our student ambassadors, and get a sense of the feel for the place. And you can see, I mean, there's so much going on at UTS campus, so it's great to see the different facilities and to see how we're part of the wider area. So that'll be tomorrow, 4:30 to 5:30. So please book that online for your place. Also, you can apply now, and it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't impact your UAC preferences. But what I'll do is I'll say, thank you all for attending. We wish you all the very best. And if you don't get that UTS offer, stay focused on UTS and we can get you in there because there's so much going on at the university. So it's great. So what we'll do is we'll sign off. And yes, I'll be quiet now and let you just finish your answer. So thank you for attending and wish you all the very best. Thank you.